Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Fake Racers Podcast with, you know him, you'll love him, Davey Hazard.
It's me.
And me, Joe Twansky. On this week's episode, you can already see it on your screen. We're going to be ranking a bunch of NASCAR drivers because original content right here on JT.
We follow the trend. This is a Larry Mack trend of the race. Okay, that joke went about that far.
Hey, I liked it.
It was pretty good. The idea was there.
Davey's getting good at these segues. Getting good at them.
God, I love segues.
Like you're talking about the ones you ride on, right?
And I love changing topics.
Well, Davey, we're going to do this in no particular order tonight. It's going to be fun. Hopefully we yell at each other. If we don't, I guess I'll just post the video. I don't... Alright, so starting off, you know him, you love him, everybody loves him, Chase Elliott. I don't know what I'm doing. Where are we putting Chase Elliott, Davey?
I hesitate to call him an A tier.
Why so?
I do think I don't know. I just there's something missing for me here and there. I think he will be A tier.
This is right now.
You know, if right now, man, I don't know why. I don't know why I feel this way. Literally, he's the champion. I don't know why I don't feel like he's A tier. I don't think he. That's the thing is, I also don't think he's B tier. I think that's unfair to him. But I also think A tier isn't completely accurate. I mean, he's had a few okay seasons, and this past season was phenomenal. I don't know if one phenomenal season is enough to make him A tier. I think if we're going based off current form right now, I say A tier is probably the closest accurate thing we can come up with.
Yeah, I think we'll put him in A tier, but as we go throughout the night, it's gonna really get, shuffled up. I think when we talk about, championships, I think we've kind of, with the current way the format is to crown a champion, we kind of devalued those championships a little bit. So
yeah, I think that's
part of it. Now, he goes on and probably wins multiple championships in his career. I mean, he's had a powerhouse team that's only getting better this offseason and will probably continue to keep their rebuild going because, remember, Hendrick's still in a rebuild as a team, as an organization, if you really think about it. So I think he's going to be in that A tier. I have a feeling, though, once we get through this list, he'll probably be at the bottom of the A tier, so maybe like an A-. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's fair. I think of the A tier drivers that we put up there, he might be the lowest of the A tier drivers. That's a good point.
All right, so Davey, I'm going to let you pick the next driver on this list. And I'll rank him first this time.
Martin Truex Jr.
Oh boy. I gotta find him.
He is in the middle, third row.
See, Davey isn't even doing this, but I am, and I'm gonna put him right here for right now.
Yeah, I have I have a very small thing to look at, and I can still see it, but we're good. That's what I'm here for.
I got a whole monitor.
You go first.
Martin Truex Jr. We're not talking a bunch of news stuff tonight, but last week there was crazy speculation that the dude was retiring for no reason whatsoever, besides one random hack on the internet saying that he was going to retire. So, woo! But Martin Truex Jr. This is another guy where I'm going to put him in the A tier. He's probably in the middle of that. I would even consider putting him ahead of Chase. But based on this past season, he laughs because he doesn't like him. Based on this last season, I'd put him behind Chase just because I think Truex is kind of on that decline of his career. And he could probably be in the B tier too. But if I had to choose between A or B, I'd put him in A. Davey.
Oh my.
Davey's about to just put him in like F.
I had him in B and C.
Oh no.
He's not that good. He's just not that good. He had a fantastic crew chief, and of course, yes, he has to drive the car. I'm very aware of this. But at the same time, I mean, he was the definition of mediocre for a decade. Like, yeah. I mean, I think it's like absurd the rise that he had, the combination of him and God, I can't even remember his freaking crew chief's name anymore.
Cole Pern,
Cole Pern. I kept thinking of his spotter. God.
Clayton Hughes,
Yeah, I kept thinking of that name. I knew that wasn't a crew chief.
who isn't a
Regardless.
spotter anymore either. I think he got a
Yeah,
new
thank
spotter.
God. He's annoying.
Oh, wow.
He is. He's annoying.
Davey throwing
Spotters
some
are annoying.
Davey throwing some heaters here at the start.
Since you want to put him in A tier, I want to put him in B tier, but I seriously consider him a
I'd
B
put
or
him in
C
B
tier
tier.
driver because
Okay.
I don't see him as being quite as talented as a lot of these guys here. I mean, you give someone a team that is that good, and they're gonna dominate.
All right. Well, we'll put Martin Truex Jr. in B tier. So now I'm going to throw you a driver that I have no idea where you're going to put him.
Okay.
Let's go BJ McLeod.
Okay, put him in F tier.
All right, cool. Moving on. Go ahead, pick another one.
That was such a gimme.
And that's wait, real quick. That's probably no fault of his own, right?
Yeah, no,
I mean, dude runs a
We only
really good Xfinity team, like for what they do, and then they just opened up the Cup team. But this is
and that's the thing is like we only have what we have.
right.
Like, we can't.
This is purely off what we know of them racing, where they're finishing, their results, not necessarily indicative of the person. Because I think these ratings would definitely be different if that was the case.
Mm.
Like I would knock Chase Elliott down because he's as dry as like a piece of 3-week-old toast, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'll stick with Cup drivers. Let's talk Ryan Blaney.
oh boy, let me. Here's a hot take: perennial disappointment, Ryan Blaney.
I love Ryan Blaney, and I gotta agree.
Yeah. I mean, dude is awesome. Great personality. He's had, I mean, to his credit, he's had a lot of success in the Cup Series. You know, because again, you can't really nowadays 1 win a year is a pretty good thing considering only about 10 guys win a race every year.
Yeah.
On
Especially
average.
when you're really good at falling into wins like he does.
But he's also really good at choking away races he should win. So see, it
Fair.
balances out.
Fair. This one's tough.
This one's tough. This one's tough. So if I was saying Truex is A tier and I said Chase was kind of with you, kind of that middle A tier, I'd probably put Blaney behind Truex in B.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he performs. He's made the playoffs every year. I mean, there's no reason to put him outside of B because the time he's made it into the playoffs and it hasn't been a fluke. It hasn't been like a William Byron winning the last race. It hasn't been one of those situations, right? Or AJ Allmendinger in 2014 winning a race, Eric Almirola, those guys. So I'd put him in B, but I'd put him behind Truex.
Yeah, I think he's behind. I would put him on the same level as Truex and B personally, but I think he is on B. I think he has a very high ceiling though. I think he has a lot of race car driver maturing to do, and I think if he improve, I know maybe this might not, I'm gonna go in depth a little bit here. This might not be indicative of the way he is outside of the race car, but inside the race car he's really bad at giving feedback, and if he got really good at that, I could see him becoming an A driver very quickly.
Well, I think Joey Logano was another guy that kind of had that knock on him early on in his career. He wasn't maybe the best at giving the feedback, and then once he moved over to Penske and he got into he had Todd Gordon as his crew chief, they got better and better as the years went on. So I think that's kind of the idea that that's why Penske gave Blaney Todd Gordon, because that pairing of him and Jeremy Bullins wasn't working, because I think Bullins couldn't get that feedback out of Blaney, and Blaney just wasn't able to develop how to give that feedback. But yeah, I'm gonna put him behind Truex, but in B tier because I don't know, maybe there's other guys in here as we continue to go along that are behind him or in front of him, but that's where he goes. All right, I'm gonna stick to giving you Cup guys. Christopher Bell.
Okay. This one I also think is kind of interesting. I think Christopher Bell, I would currently stick him in C tier. I think he was a fantastic Xfinity Series driver. didn't show me anything that was particularly stand out in the Levine ride last season, where
Texas.
Matt DiBenedetto made more storylines than Christopher Bell, and people talk down about Matt DiBenedetto all the time. I think I'm putting him C tier, and I think Christopher Bell also has the potential for a high ceiling, especially now at Gibbs. Maybe that'll suit him better than Levine, even though it's a Gibbs
Gibbs
car.
car.
Whatever. The point is, the fact of the matter is he's at the organization now. Whatever. All that withstanding, I think he has a high ceiling, but I put him at a high C personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is so much fun. I'm just gonna agree with you. He's got all the talent in the world. Has a really high ceiling, like you said. But you didn't see it last year. We saw more out of DiBenedetto in that same 95 car, and all signs pointed towards the 95 car was better last year than it was the year before, too.
Mhm.
So, and really, once we got through those first 4 races, I don't think a lot of teams did a lot more developing of their equipment. So, um, if it was already better, I don't think a lot of other teams got that much better from 2019 to 2020. So, yeah, I'd put him in a C. I'd probably put him middle. We'll see where it goes throughout the night, but I'd probably put him in this mid range. Once
Mhm.
we get all said and done. All right, Davey. With that, with Mr. Christopher Bell off the board, you have the next pick.
Matt DiBenedetto.
Oh boy, God, I love Matt DiBenedetto. Dude has always. I have to find him. He has always. Don't tell me I forgot him. There he is. His little buff face. Um,
Mhm.
he's always outperformed his equipment until last year. I don't think he outperformed the equipment as much as I think.
I have words to say.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, I think Paul Menard didn't do very good in that 21 car, the 2 years prior.
Nothing to note.
So, but I think everyone expected DiBenedetto to win a race. Maybe that was too high of an expectation. He's coming into this year where he's going to probably have to win a race, to get a look at another ride, whether that be getting into the 2 car or another Penske affiliated car somehow if
It's
Keselowski
absurd to me, but yes.
bugs off. But I'd put him in like C.
Really? That's interesting. I would put him on par with Ryan Blaney.
Okay. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
performed better in the 21 car than anyone else has in the past like 2 decades, probably 3 decades.
Well,
It's all the way
Blaney
back
won
to
a
the early
race.
90s. Blaney won a race, but the 21 car had its best average finish it's had in like 30 years last season.
Did it?
As far as full-time drivers, yes, it did.
Even that year that Blaney made the 8?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Did not know that.
Yep.
Sorry, Matty D.
Yeah, I find it absurd, and like the only thing that Matt DiBenedetto has come up short on compared to Ryan Blaney, who had multiple years in the 21 car to win a race, was win a race.
Yeah.
So I would put him on par with Blaney in B tier, personally.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna put him behind Blaney then, but I'll put him in B tier. You convinced me. I'm not gonna fight you on that because maybe underperformed or not overperforming his equipment wasn't the right way to phrase it. But I think he was right there with the equipment. You know what I mean?
He
I think
didn't dazzle.
right. There wasn't a lot of like, and people have talked about this where he wasn't Matt DiBenedetto until those last 6 or 7 races when he kind of felt his career was on the line again, right? He wasn't
Yeah, maybe
aggressive.
he
He wasn't.
needs that pressure.
Yeah. So I think
Maybe he
and
needs
he'll
that
have it
pressure.
now. He'll have it all year. So
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
him win like 5 races, and then that Penske organization is going to have a predicament on their hands. So
hmm Yeah, I really like Matt DiBenedetto, and I think him performing to his equipment last year shouldn't reflect badly on him like it has. Personally, I keep saying personally after everything. Everything's personally,
personally,
but you know.
all right. Well, we'll put him
eh,
in. We'll give him a B. We'll put him in the B tier. All right. So from Matt DiBenedetto to the guy that's going to replace Matt DiBenedetto, I'm going to give you him first because I know you don't like him too much. But Austin
I
Cindric.
fucking hate you so much.
Go ahead.
It's had the best car in Xfinity for however many years. He's done a lot of growing up. He's done a lot of maturing recently.
2020 Xfinity Series champion.
Yep. Yep, that's a thing that you can say about him. I still don't rank him as highly as I will Chase Briscoe.
Mm-hmm.
I think where he is at right now, what we know about him, I think we got to put him in C tier. I think we put him on C tier, probably right alongside Christopher Bell, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I would put him ahead of Bell, but yeah, in C tier, just because they won the championship down there in Xfinity, right? Bell was never able to do that, even because here we're always going to talk about deserving champion and all that. But in the end, they both made it to that final race in that clutch situation, and Bell wasn't able to execute to the same degree that Cindric was, right? So that's why I'd put Cindric ahead of Bell. I wouldn't put him up into that B tier just yet, just because this year could have been an outlier. You look at Ford having only 2 cars this year, and you got to wonder how much was put into each car money-wise and just all the resources and whatnot when they downsized from 4-ish the year before. But I will put him C tier, but I'm going to put him ahead of Christopher Bell for now.
I'll accept that only because he's been improving a lot. If he hadn't shown much improvement from, like, he's growing up a lot. I hope he becomes a driver that I enjoy, but I'm still waiting. But I'll accept this.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, now I got to give you.
Pick. And give me someone I hate. I know it. Feel it in my soul.
Bubba Wallace.
Oh, give me someone I love. I love it. But I hate what I'm gonna have to say.
That's why I was laughing.
This is gonna be his prove it year. I mean, I'm not saying anything new, right? This is gonna be his prove it year. This is the best equipment he's ever been in Cup. Probably the best equipment he's ever been in, period. But they showed so much improvement this last year in the 43.
They did.
I don't know how much that has to do with Bubba, or if it has to do with getting more money, sponsors, which he's continuing to carry on, right? That's why he's gotten into the better equipment, because he's bringing sponsorship and a larger and larger fan base as the days grow older. Or if it was bringing in a guy like Jerry Baxter to be the crew chief last year, who had a really good rapport with Mr. Bubba Wallace. For those reasons, I'd put him in C. So I can't put him in D because he overperformed his equipment, I think.
Massively.
Right?
Agree.
So I can't put him in D, but I can't put him in B because he doesn't have, right, to this point, he doesn't have those
He doesn't have the resume.
Right. And that's my thing is, yeah, okay, you're in a bad car. Like, Corey LaJoie, Bubba Wallace, Matt DiBenedetto, these are all guys that have always overperformed their equipment the last couple years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's what we're doing here. It's not about how, at least the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at numbers. I'm looking at statistics, not necessarily what you're driving. I'd put him in C. I would probably put him ahead of Cindric because he overperforms his equipment and Cindric has underperformed. And the same with Bell. I feel like they've underperformed in their equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd put him ahead of those two just because then that's where that characteristic of overperforming kind of comes in.
I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. And that's it. The thing that's tricky about Bubba Wallace is I still don't even know where his ceiling's at, really. I don't know where he can go. He kind of seems like a kind of guy who is... I don't think he particularly has a ceiling. He just kind of fluctuates. Some days it seems like he's on. Some days it seems like he's... Show up to any track with a right-hand turn, and I swear to God, he's switched all the way off and put away. Like, it's just crazy. Like, he fluctuates so much with his performance. It's hard to keep track of sometimes, and he's kind of volatile in that sense. So I agree with you. C and ahead of the 2 guys we got there already.
I would actually, and this is, look at you making a. I would connect that a lot to Denny Hamlin, the way Hamlin was early on in his career. When he had it, he had it.
That's a good point.
But when he was not doing well, nothing, right?
That's a really good comparison.
So
even mentality-wise, they're very similar.
So I mean, that's an even bigger reason why I think it's a good fit for him to have Hamlin as an owner. Kind kind of
And
getting.
have Michael Jordan behind him too. That's another crazy mentality. Yeah. Wow, you
Just
just opened
win.
up my eyes to a lot.
Just win, baby. Just win. All right, I get to
All
pick
right.
next. Everybody's favorite Bush brother, Kurt Busch.
Kurt
Right.
Busch has got to be A tier. He's got to be A tier, and he's way ahead of Chase Elliott. Kurt Busch continuously outdrives everything you put him in. Just an absolutely insane wheelman. You got to put him above Chase Elliott for me in A tier. I think he's a solid A tier driver. I think he's a legend of the sport personally. He's
Well,
absurdly talented.
we've kind of seen two Kurt Bushes too. Throughout his career, we saw the crazy couldn't keep his mouth shut Kurt Busch, and now we've seen this matured Kurt Busch since
Smart ass
2014.
Kurt Busch.
But I think with that maturity, he's kind of learning. He knows its limits as a driver, and that's what I think helps him overperform in the equipment. I mean, Ganassi, 2017 with Larson, right? It was like, wow, they're on fire. They're going to do so good. 2018 comes. Wow, they're on fire. They're going to do so. Or no, not 2018, I think. I don't remember. 2017 was the year Larson was really good. I don't remember how 2018 went, so it must not have went well. um, facts. But when Kurt Busch got there last year, you saw that whole team improve, and that's just a sign of a really good race car driver. So yeah, I'll agree. I'd put him ahead of Chase Elliott too. But again, Kurt's got a lot longer resume than Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see. I want Chase Elliott fanboys in our comments telling us how he should be number one because he's champion. I would love it. I would love some discussion.
Come on.
If you're watching this video, tell us where we're wrong. Come on. Get some comments on the YouTube video.
I know you fucking want to.
Add us. At Davey Hazard. At Johto Network.
God, I'll argue all day. I'm
Let's
sick with COVID still. I'll argue all day. in like a direct parallel from Ryan Blaney, who's terrible at giving feedback. Kurt Busch just elevates every team he's on. It's insane. Love Kurt Busch.
Exactamundo. All right, next guy. Let's make one easy. JJ Yeley.
Wasn't it my turn?
No, because it is your turn. Well, too bad. JJ Yeley. You'll get two in a row.
Okay, well, yeah, there we go.
I just want to get an easy one.
Yeley. I mean, you got to put him in F tier. My man is a stock car bust. He just couldn't keep up on pavement, like truly. In a very real statement, couldn't keep up on pavement. Just wasn't the guy. He was dreadful. He was dreadful at Gibbs as well. That was absurdly bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him there too. All right, go ahead. You got two in a row.
Is that AJ Allmendinger?
It is full-time Xfinity driver. AJ Allmendinger. Oh man. I'm gonna put him in. God. He did so good this last year in Xfinity, but I can't discount the Cup years.
When he was with what good team?
Penske.
How many years was he at Penske?
Like half of one. I know.
That was also before the Joey Logano years when they actually got good.
I mean, they were good the year he was there. Brad won the title. Do you remember that one, Davey? Do you remember that one, Davey? You remember when Brad beat Jimmy for the title?
Oh. Yeah, that's one of the 7 that we got.
AJ Allmendinger, I would put him.
This one's tough.
This one's tough because dude is a fantastic race car driver. Amazing wheelman.
If this was sports car racing, I would probably put him above A tier. I'd put him at S tier. Truthfully,
we don't even have S tier. None of these guys are in S tier. That's the problem, right? None of these guys are up there.
I don't think. That's a good debate.
I don't think we have any, right? Kyle Busch would be the closest, I think.
Kevin Harvick,
but even then, only got the one championship. So.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. That's bullshit. My man in the past few seasons has been absolutely unbelievable.
Well, we're not talking about Kevin Harvick right now.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm waiting on your Allmendinger rating.
I'm going to put him in end of B tier. That's where I'd put him. I'd put him right here. Put him behind these guys.
That was about where I'd stick him. I think AJ Allmendinger still has more to show us, personally. I think this next season in Xfinity might actually elevate.
Watch him win the title.
I will cry.
Everyone's saying Ross should have won this last year, and he didn't. He didn't even win a race, and then AJ goes out, wins the title.
It's because AJ Allmendinger is better than Ross Chastain.
Ooh, hot take. Here we go. Next car. Driver.
Ross Chastain.
Oh, here we go. Ross Chastain. Known for years for overdriving his equipment, gets in good cars, and continues to make stupid mistakes. That's Ross Chastain. I'd put him in C tier. I'd, again, put him ahead of Cindric and Bell. I wouldn't put him ahead of Bubba because he just makes dumb decisions all the time.
Interesting.
Dumb decision. It's the decision making, right? I mean,
I put him at the end of C tier. I put him at the bottom.
I wouldn't put him at the bottom because
That's interesting to me.
It's the overdriving equipment thing again. Because I think they're all like right there, right?
Overdriving equipment. When though? Like 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
What is he doing now? What has he done recently? Nothing. He's done absolutely nothing the past few seasons. The few cup races that he had, he was dreadful.
I'll split the difference with.
Well, I'll accept this. I'll accept this.
Put him behind the guy you hate and ahead of the guy that you're okay with.
My thing with Ross Chastain is he's just like he's shown me absolutely nothing other than race cars.
Yeah, do you like my Ross Chastain hat? It's not Ross. It's an Eric Jones hat.
It's an Eric Jones hat. I know.
Which goes on to my pick. Now it's my turn. Eric Jones, new driver of the 43.
Okay. I think this season will have a lot to determine his rating for me. But if I were to go based purely off of what we have, I put him. I think I put him C tier level with Bubba.
I'd agree with that. As an Eric Jones fan,
I was afraid of saying anything.
No, you're good.
I have nothing to say.
You can't put him in B tier because he isn't consistent. He just missed the playoffs this year to Gibbs' car. Mm-hmm. But I also think he was getting the worst Gibbs car out of the 4. I really do.
I agree.
I don't think he was always in equal equipment. I mean, people always talked about that with Danica. And then Tony Stewart's like, well, no, she's in the same equipment. Eric Jones didn't bring sponsorship. Eric Jones doesn't bring a big fan base. There's no way he's getting equal. There's just no way. I mean, Is that a fault of the team? I think so. Because I think he's a really good race car driver, and now you've given him a boot. We talked about that a few episodes ago in the TRD development system podcast. But I'd put him in C. I'd put him ahead of Bubba because of their KBM experience, and Jones won a championship while they were both there in trucks. That's who I'd put because that was the only time we've seen them. But again, Bubba's been a guy where you don't really, he's kind of, it's hard to tell where he is, right? But I'd put Jones ahead of him. He's multi-time Cup winner. I mean, he's won the Southern 500 for gosh sake.
Okay with that. Do it.
I'd put him right here. And like you said, this year is where we're going to learn a lot about good old Eric Jones.
I think it will be a telltale year for him. I think it will be a career setter.
Yep.
All right, it's my turn to pick a driver for you, right?
Yep.
Cole Custer.
Oh, he's right at the top. Don't have to do anything here. Cole Custer. I'm putting him in. This is another guy I got to put in C tier. Because I can't put him in D tier, that's really hard. It's hard to like say, oh, a guy should be in D.
Yeah.
Especially because he's got a Cup win, even though it was so freaking fluky. But he's shown a lot of improvement, right? His 3 years in Xfinity, he got better and better and better.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right?
It was actually incredible to watch how good he was getting.
So I think we're going to see more of that this year. He's going to be a lot better this year, probably contending for top 10s and wins, hopefully. I think having Chase Briscoe come up to the Cup team, too, puts a little pressure on him to succeed. But
yeah, I think I'd put him... Yeah, go ahead.
I would put him probably behind... I'd put him behind Cindric. I'd put him ahead of Ross because he doesn't make stupid decisions.
Yep, I agree with that. I was going to say somewhere in the middle there.
Put him right there. But again, guy that's going to have a really high ceiling because he's like Kevin Harvick. He's literally like Kevin Harvick. He gets better and better as the years go on. So that's just where he is right now. Like a marking period, right? You get little progress reports throughout the semester. Like his progress report on his career. for a lot of these guys. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. All right, back. Had to get a couple quick production notes from Mr. Producer Bristol back there. Now he's going to keep an eye on us, Davey, but I think I'm going to pick next. So I'm going to give you Michael McDowell.
Woo! All right, Mike Dowell. This is a good one. He's a great road racer, fantastic road racer. Every time he's gotten in decent equipment, even in the equipment that he's been in, he's always done well at the road courses. I think based off of what we have, I think I put him somewhere in D tier, but probably at the top of D tier for me.
That's honestly why I picked him, because I really wanted to put someone in there because it was starting to drive me crazy that there was no one in D tier. Michael McDowell, solid race car driver. He's going to get a couple top 10 finishes every season. He's not going to do anything flashy. Just doesn't have consistency, doesn't have big stats. Probably won't be with a big team.
Yeah, I think we've already seen the best of Michael McDowell.
Yeah. So he's on the D tier for declining. Plus he dumped Bubba for our open.
Bad.
All right, your pick.
Alex Bowman.
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Dude has been really good last couple seasons. It was kind of surprising once they got back from the pandemic that they weren't better, because they were on fire at the start of the year, and they they lost all their momentum, but then they were really good at the end of the year. Excuse you. Bless you, I meant. Sorry.
Did I mute that in time? Did you hear the cough?
Okay, cool. I just saw it. So
okay, that's fine. I can deal with that.
Okay. I would probably put him at the back of B tier. Or some, I don't even know, man. I'd put him ahead of Blaney though.
Really?
I am somewhere from here to here. Somewhere in there is where I am with Alex Bowman. He's really solid, and I think he's getting better and better every year. And now he's going to be in the 48 car. He's going to have a lot better funding for his car. So I would assume they're going to be better this year too. Based off of that, it's the same team, just new number. Good looking race car too.
I say stick him behind Blaney because Blaney's won in worse equipment.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You think the Hendrick cars from 2019 were worse than the Wood Brothers car Blaney won in?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I think so.
I put him there. Again, really solid race car driver.
Another driver with a high ceiling.
Yep. He's just going to keep getting better.
Also, though, not the kind of driver that I really think outperforms his equipment all that much.
No, but he's not gonna underperform either.
Exactly.
I think he's gonna be right there with his equipment. Let's just keep going in the way they are. Anthony Alfredo, Fast Pasta.
God, I think I've
watched him more on Twitch than I have in actual cars.
Yeah, hasn't he only run like 35 National Touring Series races or something like that?
Something like that, but he's going cup racing this year.
Yeah, no. Stick him in D tier, but his ceiling's unknown. I think he can get better.
Put him there. I think he's got more room to grow.
I can agree with that.
Needs experience. It's not a puzzling move though. I don't think seeing him in the 38, because I think he kind of brings exposure to that team, which is what I think they want out of a driver. So, it's a good fit, good hire, because we're not going to talk about it. That just got announced last week. Yeah, that's where I'll put him.
Hey, guess what? He's driving a 38 car.
Yep, pretty much. D. Your pick.
Let's get a gimme out of the way. Brad Keselowski.
I'm putting him in A tier.
He's an A tier.
Okay.
100%.
Whew, I was really scared.
I said a gimme.
Where'd you put him though? I put him ahead of Chase. I really would.
I put him out of Chase. Oh
Because I think he
goodness gracious,
overperforms his
yes.
equipment. I really
I
do.
think Brett Keselowski's a smarter driver than Chase Elliott. Maybe not a smarter driver, but a smarter driver.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I think he's more in tune with what the strategy of a race is than Chase. I think Chase just kind of needs someone to tell him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He can gives really good feedback, but I think he doesn't. Keselowski's just on that. He's on that different brain during a race.
And they can mean different things. Like Jeff Gordon wasn't ever really that good at being in tune with how the a race goes, but he had Ray Evernham, so he didn't need to be.
Exactly.
So maybe Chase Elliott gets to that point
He's
where
got
he's
Alan
just so
Gustafson.
good. Yeah, but maybe he gets to that point where he's just so good at what he is good at that he doesn't need to have that to be Brett Keselowski. But right now, I don't think it's enough. I think Brett Keselowski is perfect right there, and I still think we have yet to see the best of Brett Keselowski as well. I think he'll win the championship.
Dude, I really want to see, whatever happens this year. But if he ends up going to a different team, because that was the big rumor, right? This last year was he's going to be in the 48, and then he re-signed with Penske on a 1-year deal, which I think is smart for him and Penske because Penske obviously is probably a little cash strapped, and also that allows him probably in a year or two to get a better contract. But that's probably the car Cindric goes in a few years. So how long do you really want to stay there? But yeah, I'd put him behind Kurt Busch though too, because I think we've seen Kurt Busch's peak already too, right? Not that I don't think Kurt Busch is going to be on one of those exponential fades, but we've kind of seen the best. Moving on, let's do Eric Almirola. We're gonna make our good buddy, friend of the show, Joseph Weaver, angry here.
Yep, we're gonna make him angry. He's D tier for me. Oof. He just doesn't have it.
Oof. I'm gonna.
He does. Bottom of C tier at best.
Yeah,
he just doesn't have it.
I gotta overrule you.
Season after season, he just doesn't perform. He just doesn't have it. I mean, he gets a couple good runs here and there, but he's in SHR equipment, and you can say what you about this equipment being good or who gets the best cars. Point is, he's at SHR, and he hardly contends. I mean, the only reason we saw him up front was because he won the pole 17 times this past season. So,
well, and that's the troubling thing, right? I mean, he's won one race in however many years at SHR.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Talladega.
He's been in Cup for a long time now.
I mean, he won that one race at Daytona with Richard Petty. I mean, that's more than Bubba won.
And I don't mean to devalue these wins, but it's Daytona.
It's not devaluing. It's not devaluing at the point where, like, you wouldn't devalue it if it was a guy when it was like David Reagan doing it in the 34 car, right? You don't devalue because he was in that Petty car and it was a rain shortened race. So then it gets devalued because it was rain shortened. And then in Talladega win, it was literally those 4 SHR cars just nose to tail the whole damn race. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think he passed Kurt Busch because Busch ran out of fuel. Like,
I mean, Eric Almirola's been in Cup since 07, right? With he shared the Mark Martin ride.
Yep. And then he was out of it a couple years. He's running trucks.
Yeah, I think he came back 2012 or something.
Yeah, because he took over for Allmendinger in the 43.
So 2012.
Yep.
Then, yeah. And he just, I mean, what can you say?
He just vibing. He just vibing.
Honestly, as close to a Paul Menard as you can get.
Without being Paul Menard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He even got the beard now.
Yeah. But you're doing him a good grace by putting him at the bottom of C tier, but for me personally, Eric Almirola fans,
I don't think you can
D tier driver.
I don't think you can put him at a C tier just because he's made the playoffs consistently.
I can make the fucking playoffs on an SHR car. Are you kidding me?
Danica couldn't. So are you saying you're better than Danica Patrick?
Listen, you can say and I know I just said you can say what you want about getting better car. Danica Patrick was getting bottom of the barrel equipment at SHR, and you cannot convince me otherwise. She wasn't great. She wasn't fantastic. She needed more time on a stock car, but she was getting absolutely fucked. Her crew didn't care. Her crew chief didn't care. Her spotter didn't care. No one cared about that girl at that team. She was a cash cow.
Money.
End of.
Who picked that? Was that me that picked that? Or was that you that picked that?
Yes, that was you.
All right, so you get to
So
pick.
I got to pick. Daniel Suarez.
E tier.
C tier. Middle. Like dead middle C tier. I think
Hmm.
he's the epitome of average.
I'm gonna put him there then. I think he's D. I think he's top of D. I think he's
Won one
underperformed.
more Xfinity championship than a bunch of those guys in there.
He did, but again, it was Final Four. It was a fluke. Also, remember Cole Witt staying out? That was the race that Cole Witt decided to stay out on 30 lap old time. Okay, whatever, Dave. I'm putting him there. That's where I'm putting him. I'm in control.
I
He's
don't totally
average.
disagree.
I would put him ahead of Almirola just because. But see, you just made the argument that Almirola was in really good equipment. Well, Suarez was in really good equipment. I mean, he was the fourth Gibbs car, and then he was the fourth SHR car, but it was still good equipment by comparison. So, I mean, I'll put him. I'll agree with C, but I can't put him ahead of like Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell.
I
I
think we'll
can't.
see soon enough. I think we'll see soon enough that. I
I
think
mean,
that's yet to be seen.
yeah. I mean, he's still a young guy, right?
Took time. He took time to get good in Xfinity as well. He wasn't very good off the get. So
I just worry about fourth different team in 4 years, and then the last 2 years being with teams that are pretty much brand new. Too, you know. I mean, this year they're brand new, and then last year you loved Bump Brothers because of Clearman, but that was pretty much a brand new team.
It basically was. I mean, they ran part time because they knew that they could run part time, and that would be the best that they could run. And they ran about as good as Daniel Suarez did with a lot more funding.
Yeah.
Like, they just was not their capacity.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on.
Let's get a fun one. Quinn Hauf. All right, go ahead and pick next one.
No. I want to say something here. I want everyone to know this right now. I've won more races in a racing vehicle than Quinn Hauf has. I've won more real races than he has. Thank you.
That is the epitome of daddy's money. Hauf.
He's getting better at getting out of the way, and that's about all you can say.
Hey, he improved throughout the year. That's positive.
Got real good at being lapped.
Hey, at least by the end of the year he wasn't pitting from the third lane. Sorry, Quinn. Good.
Jeb Burton.
Jeb Burton. Oh boy, this is a guy that I gotta put in D.
Oh. Are you serious?
Put him top.
You put him D tier?
Top. Topsies. I can't put everybody in C tier, Davey. I want to, but I can't.
Jeb Burton, if we're going to put him in D tier, I want to stress that I believe that Jeb Burton has a very high ceiling. I think he's extremely talented. And I think when he has the right equipment, he'll do great. You don't have to put him there.
No, you convinced me. I'll put him in C. I'll put bottom of C.
Bottom. I can accept bottom of C because we haven't seen as much of him as we probably should. But he has not had amazing equipment, and he's run very well.
That's true.
In trucks and Xfinity.
True. And Cup.
When did he run Cup? Wait.
PK Racing, Swan Racing.
Oh, that's fucking right. Oh. Weird.
Gotta love them random Toyota teams.
God, weird.
All right, next up, Austin Dillon.
Oh man.
Watch. F tier. F tier. Terrible. Get him out of 3.
I know we're really stacking here right now, but Austin Dillon is about as average gets. He's good for a win every season and a half. And
like there?
Yeah. And we I like saying how I think about this, but I believe we've seen the best of Austin Dillon already. I don't think we get a better Austin Dillon at any point.
Yeah. Very much so. I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Former Xfinity and Truck Series champion, Austin Dillon.
Yep.
Your pick.
Uh, Michael Annett.
I don't think I have to
That's
say.
fair.
I think he's underperformed in all the equipment he's ever been in. He's another guy that's a lot about, hey, he's got money, he's got sponsorship,
Hmm.
dad, which is fine because he's been a really solid race car driver. It's just he's not.
He did pretty well at the beginning of this past season, didn't he? Right?
Yeah,
Or was it the other season?
it was
Season
2 seasons
before?
ago he won Daytona, and this year
Mm,
he was just kind of he went back to being kind of average. But I mean
yeah.
he's top 12 in points, and he's not. I mean there was a time there where he wasn't, and he was at 7 when he was in the um 5 car when they had him in the 5 before they switched it to
Mm,
1. Yeah, had some bad run.
okay, but I agree with D tier.
Yeah, I'd put him behind Alfredo just because we haven't seen a lot from Alfredo
Hmm.
yet.
Cool.
And Alfredo
Moving on.
outdrove him last year in Xfinity in the races they were. Moving on, Ben Rhodes.
I put him in F tier. I know he's probably D tier, but he's so bad and he's such a fucking idiot. Like he's so stupid.
I'll put him at the back of D tier.
We're doing him a good grace there. We're
Uh,
doing him a nice. We're nicing him on that one.
hey, can we just do all the Thor Sport truck drivers real quick?
D tier. Every single one of them. I don't care.
Grant Enfinger, I'll put up there. Johnny Sauter, get in the bin. Matt Crafton is like there,
Because I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're in trucks for
and
a
they're not
reason,
gonna get up. Yeah,
and we've seen the best of them.
I pretty much
Like,
put him on there because I was like, I like Grant Enfinger. I like Grant Enfinger. Cool dude. But I don't
I love Kermit.
1v1 versus Martin Truex Jr. I'm pretty sure Truex is winning.
Actually, I don't know about that, but I'm gonna keep that opinion to
1v1
myself.
versus Ryan Blaney. I'm pretty sure Ryan Blaney's winning.
I'll take that one. Yeah.
One fuel run, no adjustments, same car.
All right.
Go ahead, pick.
Joey Logano.
He's A tier, right? I mean,
Yeah, he's A tier.
I'd put him behind Brad because he's a bonehead. But I'd put him ahead of Chase because I think he had the big years more consistently.
He's got the resume.
Right. Love him or hate him.
He's good. And since you had us do the whole truck series, it's kind of the same way I feel about this next guy, Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick, put him at top, right?
Yep, absolutely.
He has been the best driver over the last 5 years. Should probably have at least one more championship, if not this year, last year, if not multiple championships. Everyone said when SHR switched to Ford, Harvick was probably a year or 2 away from retirement. Well, we are 4 years down the road now, and it doesn't seem like that is the case. He's got an excellent crew chief. So where you devalued Truex because of the crew chief, I wonder what it would be like if Harvick was to get a different crew chief, if Rodney Childers decided to take a different role at the team or retire.
This is a fair point. But I think Harvick proved himself at RCR when RCR was shite, so.
Exactly. And he's consistently really good at making the car better throughout the race, so that's where I put him. All right, to your Kevin Harvick, I raise you a Kyle Busch.
A tier. I put him. Ooh.
It's really hard, right? I don't know if I should put him here or if I come on here. Where I'm at with it is I would put him behind just because of this last season.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if this is a surprising thought. You probably actually might agree with this, but I think Kyle Busch, in the context of the way I've been speaking about this, I think Kyle Busch, we still have more to see from him. Mm-hmm. I think Kyle Busch still has a lot of really good seasons left. So I think he has the opportunity to become the best driver in the series, even with Kevin Harvick still around and still popping. I think Kyle Busch will be that good eventually.
I think Kyle Busch probably has at least 15 years left in the tank too.
Something
stupid
scary.
Like that, right?
It's scary. It's scary. Kyle Busch is scary good, and he's still so young.
Kyle Busch is the good side of the coin where you have a guy in Cup really young.
Mm-hmm.
And then a guy like JJ Yeley is the bad side of the coin, where you have a guy in Cup really, really young, right? I mean, that's they both drove the 18. All right, your pick.
um, Denny Hamlin.
Oh, I would put him probably behind Logano,
That's where I was thinking.
ahead of Chase.
That's where I was thinking.
Just because he's been really good the last couple of years. Again, another guy that probably should have won the championship this year or last.
Phenomenal this season, by the way. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Dominant at the Daytona 500 multiple years now. Just, nah. I think the fact that he doesn't have a championship is a shame, personally.
Exactly. The argument now is who's going to be the best driver to never win a championship, him or Mark Martin.
Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. But Hamlin's probably going to win a championship, so.
Ugh, don't scare. I'm starting to like Denny Hamlin. Don't
knock
say
on
that.
wood, right? Dude, I used to hate him. Like, I was like,
Dude,
man, I
same.
don't like this dude. And
I thought he was such a douche. I
I
love
was
him
like,
now. He's hilarious.
exactly. I mean, I'm still not gonna root for the guy because he wins so much, but turn the corner. I'm turning the corner.
Okay, I'm gonna give you Noah Gregson.
Hmm.
I forgot he was on this list.
I'm like in here. I think I even put him behind like Christopher Bell.
I think,
dude, I'd put him behind
Suarez.
I'd put him here.
Yep, I put him there.
Dude drives over his head. He got better as the year went on, but then you watch Texas and him absolutely choke the shit out of that race.
Dude, like he could have been. He would have been. He probably could have embarrassed himself less if he just pulled off with 1 lap to go on accident. That was how bad that choke was.
Yeah.
Talk about Mark Martin. He could have done what Mark Martin did and have been less embarrassed. I mean, that was the biggest, most clutch choke job you could imagine.
Well, I think too, he's still got a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
And now without Briscoe down there, that's what, like 7, 8, 9 wins? 9 wins that's now open.
If he can close him down.
Exactly. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've been giving Noah Gregson a chance to mature because I like his passion and I like the emotion he shows about racing. I very much enjoy that. But outside of the car, he's a bit of a dick, and inside the car, he's been a bit of a dick. And I've been waiting on him to become the mature race car driver that I'd hope he'd be, and he hasn't done that yet. And so he's still becoming massively disappointing as the years go on, where he just refuses to grow and refuses to mature, and he's going to continue being this hot-headed Xfinity driver who has something to prove and cry if he loses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was unnecessarily brutal, but I really wanted Noah Gregson to be a guy that I like, and he just continues to give me reasons to not like him over and over again.
Well, speaking of like, make sure if you haven't already, hit like on YouTube on the video. Also, look, there's a cute, adorable dog in the background. Check out the Fake Racers podcast merch on the JTN merch store, now available, featuring our producer Bristol in the center and Davey's amazing concept art for our logo. Absolutely fantastic, Davey. How does the merch feel?
I say it every time. It's the softest hoodie I've ever. I mean, I'm feeling it right now. I haven't even washed it in a minute because I've been sick with COVID. But it is still nice and soft, still very warm. I actually only put it on for the broadcast, and I'm hot, but I'm not taking it off. We're committed.
Company man, that Davey Hazard. But make sure you check out all our socials if you haven't already. Bunch of links down in the description. Just check them all out. Click them all. You know what to do, guys. And hit like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Moving on. You said Noah Gregson. I say his teammate, Justin Allgaier.
If you had said this a few seasons ago, he'd be higher rated. I'll say that right now. As of current, I think I put him in. I guess this makes sense. I put him in the middle of C tier, probably ahead of Ross Chastain.
Yeah.
Purely because Justin Allgaier has success in Xfinity. Chastain doesn't.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't. All guys are so puzzling because
Yeah.
one week he's really good, the next week he sucks, then he'll go on a tear, he'll win like 3 races, and then he'll won't win for 3 months. I mean,
It's just in and out of relevancy.
mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd put him there. That's fair.
Mm.
Getting
Who's
down
to the right of Harrison?
Justin Haley.
Let's do Justin Haley.
That's a toughie.
Yeah.
I would put him, dude. I'd put him ahead of Cindric.
Really? What?
I feel like he's outperformed all the equipment he's ever been in. He's a cup winner. Can't take that off his resume. The only thing is, and now that I'm thinking about it more, now I'm like, I'm kind of backing away from that. All his wins are on super speedways, aren't they? Except his truck win.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give you that I agree with the fact that he's outperformed all of his equipment. Another one of those drivers where I think next season will be where we finally start to see Justin Haley. Where he's at, what he is. I think we don't really know that yet, so this makes this particularly tough.
I mean, I'd be fine putting him probably ahead of Ross. Ross Chastain has kind of been the guy we've been like, are you ahead of him or are you behind him? Ahead or behind? I gotta flip.
That's actually a good barometer because he's kind of like he can Ross Chastain can be very good, but he's also an idiot. So like it bounces out right into the middle. So
I'd
I
put him
think
here.
I think just behind, probably behind Christopher Bell as well. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
This next season, I think we're
this is a prove it year for a lot of Xfinity guys. Sorry to cut you off, but that's
it's a very fluid year for some of these guys. They're
Yep.
gonna move a lot. I'd love to do this 1 year on from now. Actually,
we'll
I'm
make
setting
it
a reminder on my phone.
January tradition. Tier list.
I'm setting a reminder for
Fake
next
Racers
year on my phone.
podcast.
Even if we're not doing the podcast anymore because everyone stops watching because you guys, the people who are watching this, you guys are great, but you just don't tell your friends. You gotta tell your friends about this.
Get a conversation going. Be like, look at these idiots. They put Chase Elliott behind.
They put Martin Truex Jr. in B tier. He should be at least D.
Another Xfinity guy who's actually has gotten a lot better as the years have gone on. You know who I'm talking about, Davey?
Look. Brandon Jones.
Exactly. Brandon Jones. I am still very hesitant about where I should put him because he's won at Kansas now twice with like late race passes, won at Darlington because Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain were having a dick measuring contest. I swore. Hey, I did it. Your discretion is advised. I'd put him probably at bottom of C.
Yeah.
But he's getting better. I mean, he's getting better.
It's the same with a lot of these drivers. And I don't think this is necessarily a prove it year for Brandon Jones, but we will, see if he's reached his ceiling or not soon.
Yep. Agreed.
This one's going to cause some debate, I think. This one's going to cause some debate. Do you have a guess for this one since you had me guess the last one? It's a cup driver. It's going to cause some debate.
The cup driver?
Yep.
Tyler Reddick or Corey LaJoie?
Ryan Preece.
Oh, God. Dude crashes, but half the time it's not even his own damn fault. Ugh. That's tough. Because we saw what he could do in Xfinity 2 with Gibbs equipment. And he was really good. So for that, I'd have to put him in C because where I have we have Brandon Jones. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I could put him ahead of like Eric Almirola or even Jeb. I feel like I could, but I don't know if I'd want to, I guess.
I would personally I'm sticking Ryan Preece ahead of Justin Haley, but
oh wow. Okay.
He's fantastic modified driver, fantastic in Xfinity with Gibbs equipment. For some reason, Ryan Preece always ends up at the front at every super speedway race. Always, without fail. I don't know where he gets it from. Maybe it could be like because when the modifieds are at New Hampshire, there's a lot of drafting in those races. Actually, maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know how he does it, but Ryan Preece is a phenomenally good plate racer. Almost won the Daytona 500 until Ross Chastain decided to play a video game. Really, really solid driver. I think he went to Cup too quickly. I think
That's no fault of his own, though, because he was not getting a full-time ride down in Xfinity.
No.
I don't think he was getting a full-time ride at any of those.
Xfinity at that time was like really so we're looking for when a sponge is like
yeah
that one. Xfinity was really he's not in great equipment either.
I'd put him behind Haley then, just behind him. Though.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree.
Some of these guys, I'm like, with what my thought is.
And this is very much a me thing because I do kind of like Ryan Preece. I know there's a lot of people who really shit on Ryan Preece because of the wrecks, which I think is absurd if you pay attention at all. I'm
gonna do it to you in a second here.
Okay, hit me.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Real quick, do you think people unfairly blame him for wrecks at super speedways? I think there's a lot of times they do.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes he's a bit of a. Sometimes he's a bit of an idiot. Sometimes he's a bit of a stupid idiot.
Look, the 47 car was somewhere around the wreck. Oh, it must be his fault.
I really think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I think if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can stay in Cup, I think he'll be one of those drivers that hits a renaissance period, like in his 40s, because he's very talented, and he's had this problem with tearing up race cars since he was in sprint cars. Tony Stewart talks about it in a few podcasts where Ricky Stenhouse was a menace. He almost took Tony Stewart's team out of business. I mean, he almost got fired from Roush multiple different times, from ARCA all the way up to Nationwide at the time, Xfinity now, and just continued that thing of wrecking cars. And if he can stop wrecking cars, I really think he's a talented race car driver. But because he wrecks so many race cars, you have to factor that into his rating. I think he's at the top of D tier, personally.
Oh, no. I wouldn't put him that low.
He wrecks too many cars.
You'd put him here? You'd put him here?
He wrecks so many cars. And a lot of the time, it's because of a situation that he puts himself in.
No.
Ryan Preece, for example, at Daytona, he did not choose to have Ross Chastain do a silly bagilli on him. You can put him next to Ross. I think Ryan Stenhouse. I think if you want to put Ricky Stenhouse in C, I think he's above Ryan Preece, and I'll admit that. No. But I think Ryan Preece will be better in the future.
I'd put him ahead of Noah Gragson because he's got the same car crashy syndrome as Noah Gragson does.
This is fair.
But Stenhouse has been able to wrangle it in.
If we were going based off of pure driving talent, absolutely nothing to do with anything at all, Ricky Stenhouse would be higher rated. But because we're going off of performance, I'd say he's maybe top of C as far as driver talent. But
he'd be like there.
Yeah. Top of C driver talent. But because this is a full performance thing, because he wrecks so many race cars, that's a fair rating, I think.
I'm looking at my list of drivers, and I think I left out Chris Buescher.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Poor Chris Buescher.
Where would we put Chris Buescher?
Like C. Probably ahead of Austin Dillon, honestly.
I put him ahead. I love Cole Custer. I put him ahead of Cole Custer.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, and then I was like, all right, so imagine Chris Buescher is like right here. This is how good I am. Davey yelled at me, said I put too much effort into this, and I still forgot a Cup Series driver.
It's because you put too many lower series drivers in there.
Yeah, probably.
I don't care about any of these Thor Sport truck drivers. I mean, then again, we wouldn't have anybody in D tier.
Pretty much. Garrett Smithley.
I think we would probably have to be a little bit harsher about who's in D tier. Garrett Smithley's D tier. Because I do think the fact that the Thor Sport drivers are there helps. Because, like, truthfully, there's some drivers at the bottom of C tier who I think could be demoted to D tier, and I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah. If there weren't the career truck drivers in the list. Well, they are.
That's mean, but it's true.
There's nothing wrong with that. They got a job racing. Like, shit, dude.
Okay. Is it my turn to pick or your turn? No, you chose Ricky Stenhouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan Newman.
I like Ryan Newman. I really like Ryan Newman. I hate when people make fun of Ryan Newman. They haven't been doing it this year because Daytona. That's good. Y'all make fun of Ryan Newman, call him Shrek, call him No Neck, doing all this mean stuff. Dude almost dies, and then you stop making fun of him. Crazy. It's crazy how that works. What? Look at my Ryan Newman lamp. Look at my Ryan Newman lamp.
Let's hear about Ryan Newman.
I put him in C. I would think about B. But I'd put him in definitely like mid C. Go ahead.
Men said B.
If this was like 10 years ago, I'd put him in B.
I was about to say Ryan Newman has been good in a decade. I mean, genuinely, when was the last race Ryan Newman? Hold on.
When was the last time?
When was the last time Ryan Newman won a race?
His last year with RCR. Didn't he win at Phoenix?
Or was it
2017? I think he won at Phoenix in spring.
Yeah, since 2014, one win.
Hey, but he also finished second in the championship. So
yeah, that's absolute horseshit. If you start from what I would consider the Gen 6, from what I would consider the Model 6, and I don't want to say that to be unfair. This is just legitimately when Gen 6 started. We have the modern era of race cars now. Since 2013, two wins.
But he also drove for RCR for most.
2 wins.
And don't forget, he got the 6 car in the playoffs after Trevor Bayne was absolute garbage.
Because Trevor Bayne's absolute garbage.
Well, but here's the thing. Newman has improved Roush, I think.
That's all he's good at.
Hey, you're the one that said Kurt Busch should be an A tier, and you led with, he improves the teams he's with.
Yeah, but he elevates the teams and he himself performs well. Ryan Newman doesn't do that. Ryan Newman elevates the teams, but he doesn't get them very far. Where's RCR now?
That Dave?
Where's Roush right now?
I will not take.
Ryan Newman was a fantastic driver in like 2005.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're 16 years removed.
All right, am I putting him there or am I moving him farther back?
Move him back.
Oh no. Tell me
Not far. In front of all guys.
Okay, so move him back 1 spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Golly, dude. I'm hurt. You laughed at me.
I know people really like Ryan Newman.
I'd put Ryan Newman all the way up here.
A lot of Ryan Newman fans will say shit like that. I notice that his fans are the most deluded to Ryan Newman's talent.
Well, let's talk about another deluded fan base then.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Who? It's got to be Kyle Larson, right?
I was actually gonna say Haley Deegan.
Fuck, same thing.
Same difference. Both sensitivity training. Where would you put Haley Deegan?
Haley Deegan's awful. I don't care.
Here.
She's awful. She's D tier. She's D tier.
Here.
D tier and
here. I want to put her back here. That's being
put her behind Crafton.
Yeah.
She won't do better than Matt Crafton in trucks. She won't.
There's 2 dirt races this year. I'm just saying.
Oh, because she's so good at dirt races.
I never got that.
She's not good at anything. She's not particularly good at anything.
She
has great equipment and she can't win in it.
Yeah.
She was the worst driver in a full-time ARCA ride this past season.
Remember when they were talking about her running ARCA this year? And that was the only picture I could find that was a headshot and it has a background and it's like gonna bug the crap out of me, but there it is. Remember when she was for the year and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to do like 2 years in ARCA, and then I'm going to move up to trucks."
To be fair, Arca's dead.
Well,
So,
but still, she didn't really do good in ARCA either, so she shouldn't really be moving up into trucks.
She did not.
Not perform. But okay, well, since you said him last, Kyle Larson, gonna have to put him in at least B tier, right? I mean, you can't. I think we got a
he's
lot
better
of
than
guys.
Truex.
Yeah,
Better than Truex. Top of B tier, I think, this year. If he can perform,
maybe you
he'll
can get
move up.
sponsors. Maybe you can get sponsors.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Actually, here's a hot take for you. I don't think he will. I don't think he will perform. I think he's gonna perform only marginally better than he did at Ganassi.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a really great dirt driver and he's a okay asphalt driver.
Hey, real quick, public service announcement. I'm looking at you, Twitter. Nobody gives a shit about the random Kyle Larson merch coming out with nothing on it. I get it. It's fun to talk about, but we all knew Kyle Larson was not going to have a sponsor this year. And wow, look, he won't have a sponsor to start the year. Who would have thought? All right, we can move on now. Thank you. I don't get so here. My thing with Kyle Larson has always been, Davey, I just don't get the hype. For all the crap Chase Elliott got about choking, Kyle Larson is like 10 times worse. Davey's got nothing to add. He's out of it.
I'm done with Kyle Larson. I'm sick of hearing about Kyle Larson. He's got to put up or shut up next year. People think he's going to do good because he's won a bunch of sprint car races, and well, we can look at fucking JJ Yaley and see how far that gets you.
Hey, he's a 7-time Cup winner or something like that. So
I don't care.
All right, moving on. Brett Moffitt. Let's just keep going. Let's just go down this list now. Brett Moffitt.
He's very good. Brett Moffitt's very good. He did really well when he covered in Cup at MBR for Brian Vickers. This was a long time ago, I know, but he did very well. Ish, it's tough. It's tough. And I genuinely, and this might be silly because he's a truck driver right now. I genuinely think he is better than Austin Cindric.
Yeah.
I think Brett Moffitt is a fantastic driver.
The really confusing career-wise move. They said he was going to be an Hour Motorsport full-time this year, and then he decided that he's going to run full-time trucks with Nice too. Kind of puzzling, in my opinion. But I don't think he's a guy that should and wants to fall into that Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton type thing where he's a truck driver for life. He's got too much talent to do that. So, yeah. But yeah, I'd put him ahead of Cindric because
he's got to find a ride soon.
Hey, maybe Our Motorsports will get better. One can hope. Not yours. Right. It's not mine. It's our Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe. I would put him. He's somewhere in B. Come on.
Let's see. I know he's definitely B. I'm trying to figure out where in B. Because I think Chase Briscoe is going to dazzle us in Cup. I think it's going to be.
I'm very excited for everyone's talking about Cindric part-time in Cup and all the road courses. And Allmendinger part-time in Cup, I'm Chase Briscoe part-time in Cup, all the road courses. That's maybe
Chase Briscoe full-time in Cup, right?
Oh yeah, full-time. Sorry, I don't know why I said part. I got on track saying part-time.
Yeah, no, Chase Briscoe. I think he's going to dazzle us in Cup, but I agree. He's a very good driver.
I would put him at least ahead of DiBenedetto.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I think he's been on a similar career path. He's just been able to advance a lot quicker than DiBenedetto. Because if you hear a lot of his interviews and stuff, it wasn't like he was some highly touted prospect. Mm-hmm. And DiBenedetto at least kind of had that at the start of his career with Gibbs. Mm-hmm. He was a Gibbs development guy. So that's why I would put Briscoe there behind Bowman. And I think, he's going to be in an SHR car this year too. So that's going to help. But then again, Clint Boyer was terrible. So, not a big Clint Boyer guy.
Nah, me neither.
Seems like he's a fun time, but
bad driver.
I don't know.
Not great.
Maybe not bad driver, but just kind of
He's not.
average.
He's below Ryan Newman for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I put Ryan Newman all the way at the top, so everyone's below Ryan Newman, Dave.
Okay, let's move on.
Corey LaJoy. We're almost done. We're almost done.
This one's tough. This one's tough. I quite like Corey LaJoy.
He's got to be in C. He's average, right? Got to be in C. I'm not going to put him in D because that is not fair.
That's not fair. He does very well in Go Fast Equipment. He did very well in Go Fast Equipment.
I would put him ahead of Ryan Preece because he did better in similar equipment. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
But I wouldn't put him ahead of Justin Haley.
Huh.
That's where it's tough, man. These are tough.
Yeah, especially because we haven't it's hard to get it again. It's hard to get a gauge on Corey LaJoy because he's only ever driven not amazing equipment.
He can either be from in front of Preece in my mind to behind Allgaier.
Huh.
And maybe even ahead of Newman. Like, maybe up to here. But definitely at least here to here.
I think sticking him in front of Preece right now is the best idea. When we do our annual roundup next in 2022 today, we'll see how he's done at Spire.
All right, Daniel Hemrick, another guy that's in a prove it year this year with Gibbs and Xfinity.
Ooh, this one's tough because he's been very good, but also hasn't really.
He had that
kept
terrible.
rides.
He had a terrible year in Cup with RCR, and they said, "Oh wait, we got this guy called Tyler Reddick." Adios, Daniel Hemrick. I like Daniel Hemrick. I can't put I don't even know if I can put him ahead of Ryan Preece at this point. Ryan Preece has at least won an Xfinity race. Daniel Hemrick has never won a top 3 Touring Series race.
Similar, really drawing a lot of parallels there with Alex Bowman.
Yeah. He's definitely not at Alex Bowman.
No. But he could get on track to be there, I think, if he does really good in Xfinity, because Bowman kind of had that same kind of stink following him in one Charlotte or whatever in Xfinity for Junior. God, Daniel Hemrick. I say honestly, based on right now, I say put him ahead of Stenhouse, but another driver with a really high ceiling.
Well, he's going to be in Gibbs' car in Xfinity this year, and I think that's going to be a big prove-it thing. We saw how bad Riley Herbst was, though, so.
I think that speaks more on Riley Herbst than it does.
I didn't put him on here. You should be proud.
Yeah, he'd be D tier.
Yeah. Harrison Burton.
This one's tough because he was dreadful in trucks, but my God, he is so good in an Xfinity car.
He turned it on.
Oh, at the end of the season, just totally phenomenal. I think you stick Harrison Burton somewhere around the Newman range for me, but ahead of Newman, not behind, but somewhere around Dillon, Newman, Custer.
Yeah, I even thought about putting him all the way up into B, like just at the end. I think he's got that much potential, but if we're talking about just right now, I think that's fair. Which that would make him. Like that makes him what, the 3rd highest Xfinity guy?
Yeah.
Allmendinger, Cindric, him, then Allgaier.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's fair. I think that's really fair.
All right, Ryan Sieg.
Always outperforms his equipment. He does not have great equipment. Very decent driver. I like Ryan Sieg.
I put him ahead of Justin Haley.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ahead of all the guys that we say, they outperform their equipment. We'll talk about it next week, too, them getting an alliance with Roush Yates. Well, that'll be next week on the podcast, but that came out today. I don't feel like probably already pretty long.
Yeah. I'm trying to help run through it. Is that Ryan Truex?
It is.
D tier.
Yeah, top of it though.
Top of D tier. I think he's another young driver that could prove something with the right,
he's gonna be in
formula, the right mixture.
East truck.
He's just not great.
East truck this year, so I think that'll full time. He was part time this last year with them. Now he's full time this year. I think that'll be good for him. Timmy Hill.
I don't want to do this to Timmy Hill.
Poor Timmy Hill.
Been around for a long time. He's F tier. He's top of F tier, but he's F tier.
He's F plus.
F plus. I feel bad because I like Timmy Hill, the guy, but he's just not very great.
All right, I'm gonna do Tyler Reddick real quick because I can't. I put him there.
I put him there.
Look at you could even make the argument move him up a couple. I mean,
I was thinking you're gonna put him ahead of Benedict. Truthfully.
I wouldn't put him there just yet. Xfinity Championships.
Very good season for RCR.
He did. But I'm also already putting him ahead of his teammate that won the race they were battling for the win for. So that's kind of, I don't think I can put him very much higher.
Didn't Tyler Reddick have older tires?
I don't care. It's just air. It's just air. Don't matter.
Yeah, I know it was just air, but Tyler Reddick had older tires as well.
I don't care. I'm putting him. I can't put him any higher than bottom of B.
Okay, that's fine. I accept that.
I can't put him ahead of any of those guys.
Another high ceiling though.
Oh yeah. He could be up there with Kyle Busch. He's got so much raw talent.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
I think if RCR improves or he gets a good team, he will be.
RCR is going to keep improving too.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there'll be rumors this offseason that he'll be going to Hendrick or something. But that's usually what happens with the Chevy guys. Oh, he's going to go to Hendrick.
God.
William Byron.
Because that means this guy will be out of a ride, and I could not be happier. He's C tier. Or no, we're in C tier. He's not D tier. I hate, but he is not that good. No.
Lower?
He's behind Ryan Newman.
Oh God.
Ryan Newman's better.
Former Xfinity champion. Probably should have been a truck champion.
Absolute shitter in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I don't care what you say. He was the 4th fastest Hendrick car.
He was behind Jimmy Johnson. That's saying a lot in 20.
It is. As a Jimmy Johnson fan, Jimmy Johnson was not on point this year, but he was fast and a lot of points of the season. Jimmy Johnson, in my opinion, was the 2nd fastest Hendrick car for a lot of the season. Just had a lot of mistakes and bad luck, which is what it is. I'll admit that. But William Byron was consistently the 4th fastest Hendrick, in my opinion.
Well, folks, that's our tier list. Tell us where we went wrong, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of opinions on where we went wrong. Pretty much, I think this is... I mean, it looks like a bell curve, doesn't it? Like, we're all kind of clustered in the middle, and we could probably...
We actually did pretty good. We did pretty good,
I was really worried at the point where the B tier had, 4 drivers in it, and every other category had at least, 5 except the F tier, because we're too nice here, because I would consider doing this, and then this.
Yeah, but Ben Rhodes needs to be an F tier.
I can't do that to him. I can't.
Yes, you can. You're a fucking idiot. Oh my God.
I can't put a truck series winner ahead of guys that haven't won anything that also look like crap.
I could.
I can't. Well, you're a little meaner than I am, I guess. I don't know.
I am. It's true.
So with all that being done, we're gonna move on to our next segment here, and I'm gonna
keep it quick.
Okay, we'll keep
Quickish.
it.
Quickish.
We'll keep it quick, and we'll just leave it like
Cover
this.
What we need to do.
I'll keep it recording, Davey. But USORL at Talladega, Davey, you were part of that race. Went a lap down early on. A lot of dumbery, dum-dums, as the youngins would say.
Interesting things happen. You want me? I'll talk. I can talk about my race, but
yeah,
I got sent to the back early.
Yeah, how'd that happen? Go ahead. Friend of the show.
Got sent to the back early. Yeah, I think that says it all about how I feel about the situation that happened. The semi to the back, it was unnecessary, unneeded.
There was a lot of unnecessary in that race, though. I mean, there was a lot of guys really being dumb. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I saw a lot of guys pushing a little too hard early on in the race where they definitely did not need to be pushing that hard, and then a lot of guys that probably should have pushed a little bit harder at the end, because it seems like there are some guys that just didn't. Waited.
And I'll accept that I was pushing really hard at the beginning, but I've run NR enough. I've run super speed races. I've won enough super speed races to know when to be aggressive, and at the very start, if you can get up to the front, you can do that. Unfortunately, some people don't want to let that happen, and that's fine. They're entitled to that. I need to adjust my philosophy when it comes to the situation that happened. Maybe I don't let off as much if they're not going to let off as much. So, maybe incentives happen there. Got saved by a yellow, got up front, had a bunch of wrecks, wreck after wreck after wreck. Got up back to the top 5 pretty quickly, and then just kind of stayed in the top 5. Couldn't really push to the lead. Was a great pusher, but situations kept happening that kept keeping me mired back in second, third, or fourth. A miscommunication with my teammate Steven kind of occurred where I could have had the lead on the inside line, but I lined up fourth on the outside. We have the choose cone rule. I lined up fourth on the outside with the inside line totally clear, and I restarted. I guess it would have been 8th. Just tough. A lot of situations like that just weren't really ideal for me. Regardless, I ended up 5th place. Very disappointed with the 5th place, but I'm glad to be disappointed with the 5th place. So,
and you already got 2 wins on the year, and we're already hearing guys getting really worried about being able to make the playoffs without having enough wins.
yeah, I hope I can keep it that way.
Hey, keep winning them. Just keep winning.
Just win the race, forehead.
But I guess that we'll just call that a quitsies there. Because this one's gone on for a long time. It'll probably just be called Tier Maker.
Let's go. You gotta put the word NASCAR on the title. I noticed you haven't been doing that.
Yeah, it'd probably help, wouldn't it? Yeah, NASCAR.
NASCAR.
This tier maker will also be linked in the description below, so you'll be able to make your own and tell us where we went wrong, and you can send links to your Imgur or something, file a web page, picture hosting website, whatever words.
Actually, I gotta have something I want to say before we leave.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Oh, look at that. There's a door.
Parker Kligerman is S tier. He's the best driver in NASCAR, and you can't convince me otherwise.
All opinions said during this podcast do not reflect that of company JTN. Or the opinion of our yeah.
Thanks for watching the show. You can find me at on Twitter at Davey Hazard, on Instagram at D7H5, and on Twitch D7H5 or ER at the end of it. You can find this merch at the links in the description below. Also, other JTN merch can be found in the description below. It's all very nice. I enjoy it. Bye, because I like it.
It helps us a lot, guys. Also, what really helps is making sure that you're sharing the video, liking, subscribing to JTN, going to our socials, following us on there, all that stuff linked in the description below. We appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day, taking some time out of your night, whenever you're getting the chance to watch this, and tell us what you think. We know we're not perfect. We know we can improve, and we know our rankings are probably trash. So, feel free to tell us where we went wrong. Have a conversation. Davey told you his Twitter, so you can just at him.
Yes,
yell at him.
Me.
Do it.
Fucking yell at me.
He wants someone to yell at him so bad.
I love arguing on Twitter.
But,
it's my favorite thing to do, but no one does it.
If you're watching this, or if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can head over to our YouTube page, watch it, or at least go skip to the end and get that good old picture of what happened. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching on YouTube. And you should probably head over to the Spotify and follow this podcast on Spotify for whenever you got one of those long drives. But for now, so long. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever time it may be. Davey, you got anything else for him?
I do actually. I have one more thing. So Parker Kligerman is at the top. He's S tier, best driver in NASCAR. What I didn't tell you was that there were 2, and the other one's name is Jimmy Johnson. He's the other best driver in NASCAR. There's 2. So you don't even have to actually argue with me on Twitter about this because I know I'm right. And specifically, if your name's Tommy Bordeaux, you don't have to argue because if your name's Tommy Bordeaux, that means you like Jason Keller, which means I win every argument. Thank you.